What's going on, YouTube? Big Pat Sports Talk back with another Giants video for you guys, man. Hey, listen, we're going to be listening to the Joe Schoen press conference, and, we're going to give our 2 cents in about the Joe Schoen press conference. So we're going to get into it right after the intro, man. Let's get it. Welcome to New York Giants Films. All right, so Mr. Joe Schoen had his press conference right here at the NFL Draft Combine. The preliminary interviews, all the GMs and everybody come out to do their interviews. So we're going to listen to the press conference, decipher exactly what's going on in the mind of Joe Schoen. So let's get into it.
Here, but looking back at the decision to let Saquon walk in free agency, how do you view that, and do you regret not resigning him?
Yeah, I'm happy for Saquon. Obviously, went on to win the Super Bowl, and we wish him nothing but the best. Always going to evaluate all the decisions you make, and we were at a different place in our build. And again, love Saquon and wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, he shouldn't give two flips about Saquon leaving and going to win a Super Bowl. It happens every year with lesser caliber players and sometimes even more caliber players. Hell, Deion Sanders left the 49ers and went to the Cowboys and won a Super Bowl after winning the Super Bowl with the 49ers. So it happens, man. And it is what it is, man. You can make a big deal out of it if you want to, like it's the only time this has ever happened. Or you can, move forward. You got to move forward.
Joe, Ryan Cowden left your front office with the Patriots. Can you kind of give us a scouting report on the guy you work closely with?
Yeah, I've known Ryan for a long time. So I guess it would be 25 years ago. He was a scouting assistant, and, I was coming in to replace him as a scouting assistant. So he was in my wedding. I was in his wedding. So he really taught me the ropes early on in the scouting industry, and we've been really good friends since. So you're getting a hard worker. You're getting a really good leader. You're getting a hell of an evaluator. And, really good move by, Coach Vrabel and the Patriots organization to come after Ryan, and he's going to do a good job for you guys.
Joe, have you made the decision with the number 3 pick, whether to keep it or trade it? And if you are traded, what do you leaning on?
Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do on that. This is a great opportunity for us, obviously, in Indy, first time to get around some of the prospects and, have conversations with them, first time meeting them. So we've got a lot of work to do on, the number 3 pick. We've done a lot of work throughout the fall on the college prospects, but this phase of the calendar is, getting to know who they are as people, what the fit's going to be, and then obviously free agencies before the draft. So 2 weeks from now, the roster will look different. So we know we have an idea of, 3 to 5 players, 6 players, 7, whatever it may be, and move back scenarios. You can do that. We'll also look at, moving up if that's a possibility. So it's exciting time for, a year for us and, a chance to make some change on the roster. And so we'll look at all different, scenarios.
So basically told you a whole lot of nothing right there. But if you get the gist of what's going on, far as moving up or moving back in the draft, I think the only way they move back in the draft is if they don't get either one of the top 2 quarterbacks, and they'll try to move back in the draft if they don't feel like somebody like a Travis Hunter or a Mason Graham is, worthy enough of the number 3 pick, and they'll move up if they are desperate enough to get one of those quarterbacks. If somebody like the Raiders or the Jets are trying to trade in front of them, let's say the Titans take Cam Ward at number 1, and the Browns are up for sale, from like the Jets say, hey, look, we're trying to get a number 2, take Shedeur Sanders, or the Jets try to get up to number 2 and take Shedeur Sanders. I can see them trading up in that scenario to stop them from taking a quarterback if they want one of these quarterbacks extremely bad. Now, he is correct when he's saying the roster will be different after free agency, because that is true. Now, what I think this guy's going to do is he's going to spend money in free agency. I know he's came out and said, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to spend all the money that we just got back on free agency. Well, think about this, man. This is his hot seat year as a GM. And if he goes out the way that he's been going out so far with the New York Giants, I highly doubt that this dude will ever get another GM job. It's just a fact. I highly doubt this dude will ever get another GM job. It is hard to be a GM, fail miserably, and come back and get another GM job in the NFL. You rarely ever see it. So I do believe he's going to do everything in his power that he can to make this a good season to keep his job. Just think about the GMs we had. Have they ever gotten another GM job after they were fired by us? I don't think they have. I think he's going to spend some money here in free agency, and that's going to determine what he wants to do in the draft, which I already believe that they're going to take Shedeur Sanders at number 3. And it's obvious that this dude is going to spend money in free agency. If you think this dude's going to go to free agency and not spend any money on his hot seat year as a first-time GM, you're crazy. Because if he fails miserably, like he's been failing, the loss of Saquon Barkley, the loss of Xavier McKinney, the 2 consecutive seasons of horrible records, this draft, everything that you say about this dude, you don't think this dude is going to spend money in free agency to try to bring some players here in order to have a good season. You are crazy. He's going to spend some money in free agency, and we're going to see what this team looks like after free agency, man. But he's going to spend some money.
You mentioned moving up. And last year, really like you couldn't move up the way it worked out. Did you get the sense that this year is more available as a move compared to last year, maybe? But
Yeah, Jordan, we haven't had any of those conversations yet. That's, this week there'll be a lot of that going on. Conversations, what the time frame will be on, teams open to moving. Again, it's at the infancy stages of getting to know these kids and get around them. So, I look back on some of the trades that have happened in the past before the draft, whether it was the Jets and the Colts in that 2018 draft. That was like late March, early April. I know Carolina and the Bears, did it, I think it was March 10th or, not long after the combine. So teams are on different time frames. There are different points in their process in terms of the information that they have and the capability to make those type of decisions that you're comfortable moving out or even the invert, us moving up. So, a lot of that information will, be gathered over the next week or so, and, that'll help us map out our spring.
I'll say this, that number 1 pick announcement of who they're going to take at number 1, if the Titans go into the draft and haven't announced who they're taking at number 1, there's been, you can bet that there's been a lot of conversations about them trading down. Because normally the number 1 pick, do you already know who they're picking at number 1 normally when it comes to the NFL draft? And this season in particular, there's so many teams that's needing quarterbacks, and the top 2 quarterbacks, it's like a huge fall off after the top 2 quarterbacks. And if Tennessee is not, one of those teams that want to take one of those quarterbacks, there are going to be conversations leading all the way up into the draft of who is willing to trade up and give them assets to trade up in the draft, because you can trade back, let's say with the Giants in number 3, and still get the guy you want in like a Travis Hunter. So we're going to see exactly what those conversations are being had with the Tennessee Titans, because they don't announce, say we're taking Travis Hunter number 1 or we're taking Cam Ward number 1. There's some conversations being had about that draft pick being moved back, and the Giants are definitely going to be one of those teams looking to go up to number 1. That's a fact.
Evaluating what you want to do with quarterback. How do you balance acquiring a player, whether it's free agency or trade, that what they can do because you've seen it, compared to a rookie that you drafted where it's more evaluation? How do you balance those two, the short thing versus maybe the upside?
Yeah, and where we are, Tommy DeVito is our only quarterback on the roster. So you may evaluate both of those. Those both may be options. So, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the draft. We don't know who's going to be there. When we get around these kids, they may or may not be a fit for us. So, we're going to have to address the position somewhere. And even if you get a young quarterback, you'd like to have a vet, in the room with them to show them the ropes and how to be a pro. So, we're looking at all different avenues. It's, hey, is this guy going to be really good for a young quarterback, or is this guy a starter? Or can we get a guy in the draft? Or if we do, should we have a guy that's more of a guy that can develop and show a guy how to be a pro? So, we're going to look at, vets. We're going to look at the draft. We're going to look at trade candidates. We're going to look at under every rock to, find the best prospect for us going into the 25 season.
And that should be the objective, because everything's based on that. Getting a quarterback. Me personally, I think they're going to go in the draft. They're probably going to get, like I said, Ward or Sanders. And look out for guys like Joe Flacco or Carson Wentz to come in here and, be that veteran guy to, per se, teach their rookie quarterback on what to do. That rookie quarterback is going to have to start because this is their hot seat season. But they're going to look to bring in a veteran like a Carson Wentz or someone like that to come in and be that voice in the quarterback room for their rookie quarterback. I think that's what they're going to do for sure.
You talked about it's like a quarter of it where you don't know just because yet trade season 2 weeks. Do you need to have like a quicker timeline with a handle while you're doing the draft and back who you're going to target?
Ask that again.
If you're thinking the quarterback at 3, that may make you not as inclined to be aggressive. But vice versa, like you have to have more of a handle on the draft market.
Have you been suffering from the after effects of a work injury? The good news is you're still entitled to a 5.
Yeah, and we have as good a grasp as we can. Again, there's rules we have to follow in terms of when we can be around these kids. So, we've got a process and a timeline in place that, will lead us to, exactly what you're talking about. And, we've got a plan in place for that.
Joe, you mentioned trade candidates. There's reports that the Rams have given Matthew Stafford's agents a opportunity to talk to other teams. Have you had those conversations?
Yeah, you have to ask the Rams that. Ask that you can get that from the Rams and let them talk about that. He's under contract with them, so that'd be a question for the Rams.
Joe,
they're not interested in Matthew Stafford. Point blank, period. They're not interested in Matthew Stafford. You bring Matthew Stafford to the Giants, that means you're in win now mode. And this team is not in win now mode, but they are in a mode where you want to see progression. But bring it over Matthew Stafford, giving him over $50 million a year doesn't make any sense. And then they're talking about them trading the number 3 pick. Come on, man. Like, people got to get serious with this stuff, man. Why would you trade the number 3 pick overall for Matthew Stafford, even if you're getting this number 16 pick in return? You're not a win-now team. So you're willing to give up your biggest asset to get an aging 37-year-old quarterback who has an injury history, and I believe is taking a step back, even though I still think he's a good quarterback. You're willing to trade the number 3 pick for him. Like, make it make sense. Make it unless you're able to get this dude for like a 4th-round pick and not give him another contract. That's the only way I would do it. But not only is you having to give up major assets, you have to give up another contract to another quarterback coming off the Daniel Jones saga with his contract. So you want to do that for an aging quarterback now? Like, make it make sense, man. But that was Joe Shane at the combine, man. There's a whole lot more questions of the same thing. Are you going to trade? Who are some of the athletes you're looking at? What are you going to do at the quarterback position? So he's pretty much going to answer the same thing, everything. So if you want to check out the full interview, go to the Giants website or go to the Giants YouTube, and you'll be able to check out the whole press conference. Now, the Aboriginal Sports Network has our own Patreon, and we're doing New York Giants Uncut. So if you want the uncut version of this video, go to the Patreon, check out the Patreon, $3 a month, and you're going to get the uncut version of what we really think here at the Aboriginal Sports Network about what the Giants are going to do this upcoming season. If you want the script, check out the Patreon, man. But this will be the end of this video, man. Good to be back. We're going to be doing a lot more videos for you guys. We're talking about all NFL, all 32 teams. We're going to be doing a lot more Giants videos for you guys here on the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and peace.
espn, or just the Giants organization that really put Daniel Jones in the forefront and carried him in that type of light, man, on national TV.
$223. The suspension also opens the door for the Texans to release Al-Shahir.
Then in 1976, guess who was hired? Expans. This is where preference plays the biggest.
But I'm gonna have to knock this down and get the oohs and ahs of Houston.
Welcome to the Aboriginal Sports Network.